What's up, everybody? It's Billy Briz back at it again with another Thursday night football breakdown of a video. Make sure you follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills. I got that pulled up right here. But first things first, let's jump into this slate, man. This slate is one of those type of slates where so many moving different parts are going to go around that actually makes out for a pretty good DK and FD slate. The first thing that we want to look at real quick is the Packers side of the ball, see who they have active tonight, because this is a weird slate for injury news with so many COVID IRs and different moving parts and pieces around. One of the big news of this slate is Aaron Jones going to play or is he not going to play? We already know that Jamal Williams is on COVID IR with A.J. Dillon, so that leaves Tyler Irving and Dexter Williams as the two backups. Let's first look at Tyler Irving, look at his player profiler. I'm kind of more interested in a guy like Dexter Williams. I feel like he's more of a bell cow in between the tackles type of back when I say that. Tyler Irving feels like more of a pass catching type of back. As you can see, his best comparable player is Danny Woodhead. So Danny Woodhead was remembered as the Chargers' main pass catching back for his whole entire career. But it's not really too much you can really take away from this profile, to be honest with you. Not enough of a sample size to really get a good idea of who the lead back is going to be if Aaron Jones was out. But if I had to take a guess, man, I'm going to put my money on Dexter Williams tonight. Dexter Williams, man, his burst score just kind of pops out to me. I don't know if he's just a Notre Dame back and I'm Notre Dame biased or something like that. If that plays a case where he's 5'11", 212, that seems like more of like a bell cow type of back rather than Tyler Irving's build. But it's really hard to get a good idea of what you're going to expect out of him because he's been a practice squad player most of his career. But later on in the day, we'll probably get better an idea of how that side of the ball is going to work out for running backs. Receiving wise, I just shouldn't even have to say this, but I'm going to have to say it regardless. Davante Adams is just a smash spot here. Not much else to say other than that, man. With the salary savings that you're going to be able to have on Draftkings and Fanduel, it's just going to be so easy to get him into your lineups. Let's actually head over to Draftkings, look at the Packers side of the ball. I think this is one of the slates where when you look at the teams, I would probably put on like a different sheet of paper who's active and who's not active because there's so many scores, so many news information coming out and stuff like that. It's going to be hard to keep track of on the DraftKings main site. But on the Packers side of the ball, my favorite plays are obviously going to be Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Those two should just be locked into your lineups tonight, FanDuel and DraftKings. It'd be interesting to see how this ownership comes out. The first runner ownership probably comes out around like noon. It would be interesting to see if Adams or Rodgers is going to be more highly owned. When you get to deeper into this Packers roster, man, Marquez Valdes-Scantling kind of pops out at $3,400. But he's just one of those type of tilting guys that where you see his air yards and his air yards are going to pop every week, but he just doesn't convert it. I don't know what it is. Maybe this isn't a matchup for him. I thought last week would be, but then the whole entire win situation happened. So overall, though, $3,400 is a pretty good pricing right there. Let's look at the chat real quick. Yeah, getting Bills with the polos coming soon. The pub, yeah, man. I got the polo on today. Got the work shirt on. Do you know about the Green Bay snap shares last week between Equinemius St. Brown? Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about was Equinemius St. Brown. He got ruled off the I don't know if he was on the COVID IR or the actual IR, but he's been back. He's been getting a certain amount of snaps, but not enough to really be relevant. But he did get 3 targets. I don't think this is the week to go for Equinemius St. Brown. There's just the value on the slate is just ridiculous, man. And when it comes to the situation about Robert Tonyan and Jay Sternberger, it's pretty hard to decide who's going to be more used. People are going to say Robert Tonyan, but Jay Sternberger has actually been used somewhat in the passing game last week, especially against Minnesota. I actually thought you scored a touchdown. Yeah, he did score a touchdown against Houston the week before. So I kind of want to stay away from Robert Tonyan. That's a price range where I'm kind of interested in the 49ers tight end, Ross Dwelly, who should be getting the start because Kittle and Jordan Reed are both going to be on IR. Razor Sharp Picks, what's up, man? How are you doing? I know he has his video on tonight. Make sure you check that out. Horse racing, they just cash, man, every week, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous how much their rate of return is on the bets that they place. He says, who's a better captain tonight, Rodgers or Adams? To be honest with you, I think Adams is a better captain, but I kind of want to see how ownership plays out, because ownership is really going to determine how I really go about this slate. Because if Devontae Adams is over 35% owned at the captain spot, either on Fanduel or Draftkings, I'm going to have to fade that in the captain spot. That's a little bit too high of a percentage, especially in the game script where I feel like Vegas is off. Vegas only has the Packers favored as -7.5, and we're about to get into it right now, man. If you look at this 49ers depth chart, holy shit. You talk about COVID season, man. COVID season has officially hit for this 49ers roster. Rookie sensation Brandon Ayuk, he was looking like one of the best rookie receivers this year. He's on the COVID IR, along with Kendrick Bourne's on the COVID IR. Jeff Wilson's on the actual IR. Deebo Samuel's on the COVID IR. Jordan Reed's on the actual IR. Jimmy Garoppolo's on the IR. It's just so much to keep track of. It's ridiculous, man. And Tevin Coleman should be out in this game also as well. So when we look at the 49er side of the ball, we'll start off at the top, and we'll talk about the mispricing of players deeper in the player pool. First, for starters, I think the starting quarterback tonight is going to be Nick Mullins. It should be interesting, though, because if him and CJ Beathard are back there at quarterback position, we have seen time and time again with Shanahan kind of pulling out Nick Mullins, like, why the fuck did I start this guy, and kind of pulling CJ Beathard. So that's kind of an interesting game theory to kind of go with, because sometimes in these underdogs, I kind of like attacking the pass attempts per game for them. He's seen 18, and 25 in the 3 games that he started in so far. But I don't know if I want to attack that tonight, because I honestly think CJ Beathard's a better quarterback than Nick Mullins. That's just me and my opinion. Me and my opinion are definitely wrong more times than not. Both of them are turnover prone. So I don't really know how to feel about this quarterback situation. Chat saying this game should be canceled. I don't blame them, man. I honestly thought when I woke up today this game would be canceled, because last night I tried to play a couple player props, get those locked in before they got juiced, and I couldn't even get those in because they couldn't come out with a better injury or COVID IR list for this game. Another thing that I'm looking at is this running back situation. Jerick McKinnon versus JaMycal Hasty. On DraftKings, they're way closer in pricing than on FanDuel. We'll talk about FanDuel in a little bit, in a couple of seconds. But Jerick McKinnon at $8,000, man. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But Jerick McKinnon, man, he looks like he's about to smash in this spot. I know JaMycal Hasty's been way out snapping him when it comes to rushing attempts and stuff like that. But Jerick McKinnon's more of the pass catcher, man. And the Packers have no other team in the league besides the Packers have given up more receiving yards to the running back position. So that kind of really highlights Jerick McKinnon, JaMycal Hasty, and fullback Kyle Juszczyk. Let's pull up Kyle Juszczyk. He's at $1,000 also as well. He's been used in the passing games more times than not, especially in a situation, a scenario like this, man. If you look over on player profile and we look at this starting wide receiving core for the 49ers tonight, man, you got Deebo Samuels. He's not playing. Brandon Ayuk's not playing. Kendrick Bourne's not playing. Richie James is still questionable. That leaves Trent Taylor and Kevin White, who was drafted by the Bears, it feels like forever ago. And you might even see my boy from Notre Dame, Chris Finke. I'm jacking up that last name, Notre Dame rookie. He might even get his first appearance in the NFL tonight. That's how depleted this 49er side of the ball is. If I had to pick one, though, I feel like Trent Taylor is the most reliable option. I feel like the Packers have a real advantage with Jair Alexander, who's been absolutely playing beautifully these last couple of games. But my question is who's he going to line up against? Are we seeing Jair Alexander on Richie James for a whole entire game? I really don't know, man. That's a weird situation scenario for me, but I feel like Trent Taylor is probably going to be the most reliable option. And the sports books are kind of agreeing with it too. They have him currently right now, over under 4.5 receptions and 46.5 yards. I'm pretty tempted to take the over on that, but I kind of am waiting for Ross Dwelly's props to come out. I'm shocked his props haven't really came out. He's probably my favorite pass catching option for the 49ers in this game. With George Kittle being out and also Jordan Reed being out, Ross Dwelly was used a little bit in the beginning of the year against the Giants. I feel like this type of game script kind of mirrors the Giants game script where he went 4 for 49, no touchdowns though, howsoever. And he also had one target last week he actually got 4 targets, 1 reception, 16 yards, and a touchdown. A little bit of box score reading here. But besides the box scores in itself, $4,800 for Ross Dwelly feels like too cheap of a price tag on this slate. I feel like the low A-dot targets are going to be really crucial for the 49ers to even try to even compete in this game. So that really highlights the Trent Taylor, Ross Dwellys of the world rather than taking a shot at a guy like Richie James down here at $200. But as you can see, man, on DraftKings tonight, man, you can play whoever you want with Trent Taylor there at $400. That is just like, I think that's going to be uber chalk, like above the 80% range for this showdown slate. $400 is just way too cheap. If we're just looking around to play around with a lineup here, I would probably plug in my first lineup would probably look like something like this. Davante Adams in the captain spot, more of a type of guy that kind of wants to go with the receiving options in the captain spot over the quarterback in the captain spot because they just have an easier floor. I mean, not an easier floor, but I would say an easier ceiling to be able to hit. Like Davante Adams, even though the Packers are really favored in this game, he can easily come out here in this first drive and go 4 for 65 and a touchdown, and that pays off his price tag right there, because I don't know how much Aaron Rodgers we're really going to see in this game tonight. I feel like Vegas overall has this game a little bit hinted a little bit too much for the 49ers side of the ball. This team is complete dog shit, injury depleted. The 49ers are starting 0 of the same players on the receiving side and the running side of the ball that they did last year when they played the Packers, which I thought was a very interesting statement. That just shows how many people are going to be on the COVID IR. But let me stop stalling, fill out some of this lineup. Obviously, this isn't the lineup that I'm going to go with. I can't give out DraftKings lineups. I would get in trouble for that. But if I had to play a lineup, this is kind of what I'm looking at for right now. And then that leaves you $4,800 for Ross Dwelly. However, though, I think this build right here of Davante Adams in the captain spot with Aaron Rodgers, Jerick McKinnon, Jermichael Hasty, Trent Taylor, and Ross Dwelly, I feel like that's going to be a very popular build today because it's $0 remaining. And a lot of people on DraftKings always want to be kind of have the $0 remaining more times than not. But it will be interesting to see who the pivots are going to be in this range. The only reason why I have both running backs slotted in right now, it kind of makes it easier to pivot off of if we do get that Aaron Jones news, because if Aaron Jones is playing, he's going to be locked in there at $9,800. How much are they going to use him? I don't know. Maybe you want to play the Packers defense or a kicker in this situation and leave some money off the board. Because we've been seeing these kickers popping up in the optimals more times than not. It's going to take me a while to get kind of that getting used to. I really don't play kickers on my showdown slates. Showdown slates are more for fun than anything. And why are we playing a kicker in the showdown slate if we're really trying to have fun? I mean, you can kind of pick a $2,000 option and they can kind of just catch one or two, 3 balls and kind of pay off their price tag. But recent, man, these kickers have absolutely been popping in the optimals, I would say, for the last 2 to 3 showdown slates that we've been seeing. Let's head over to Fanduel, see what Fanduel's working with in pricing. What's up, 2 cents? What's up, Bloodthirsty MMA? I like to see my MMA guys in here getting that football information in the middle of the day. If we're looking over here on Fanduel, kind of the same theme and scenario here. But honestly, on FanDuel, dude, I don't know how much money I'm going to be leaving off the board, but it's going to be a lot, man. I really just don't like the way this pricing set up compared to DraftKings. As you can see here, one of the things I really wanted to note was how close of a pricing Jerick McKinnon and Jermichael Hasty are. As you can see, Jerick McKinnon's the higher price running back on DK, but on FanDuel, those two are flip-flop. And I kind of can understand that because the touchdowns are more of the option that you want to go to on FanDuel with the half a point PPR system. But the fact that they're this far off in pricing, we got Michael Hasty at $11,000, and then we have Jerick McKinnon floating all the way down here at $7,000. That's one thing that really shocked my eyes when I looked at this FanDuel slate. FanDuel just being FanDuel, man, that price difference is way too big. I hope I see these first run of ownership and people are smashing in Michael Hasty because his rushing attempts and their box score watching, rather than following the game script and scenario and how the 49ers kind of have been not giving Jerick McKinnon the full workload in the receiving game because of this his injury situation in the past. See if I can pull that up real quick for you because it is really bad how many times this guy's been hurt throughout his career, or I should say just big injuries. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not even gonna start trying to pronounce some of these, but we could see these post-surgical complications for the knee surgery that took 9 to 12 months. We got the ACL injury, the ankle sprain, the foot sprain, the hamstring, and he hasn't really been in the league for too long. And he was a backup for Adrian Peterson for most of his career, so it's pretty interesting to see how many injuries he has. But as you can see, though, as I digress, we also have Tyler Irving here at $6,500. That's a pretty cheap price tag, but I definitely want to see that Aaron Jones news. We'll get that probably 90 minutes before game time, an official decision. What I think is going to happen, I feel like they're going to activate Aaron Jones but not really play Aaron Jones that much. That's just my opinion. The Packers seem like the type of team that really don't want to rush back their players. And with the 49ers having to shut down their facility due to COVID, it's really hard to tell how the Packers are going to take this game approach because, in my opinion, I feel like they shouldn't play Aaron Jones. They can get the job done. Just force feed Devontae Adams get a win here. Packers -7. Yes, I'm taking it if we're talking about the betting side of things here. But on FanDuel, man, I'll just show you exactly what I'm talking about. We got Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, then let's play Jerick McKinnon, Ross Dwelly. And look how much money you have left over. It's not even enough money. The salary cap isn't even enough money to even try to get close to filling out the slate tonight. So I'm just going to go with this slate on FanDuel, not Draftkings, but on FanDuel. I'm going with a mindset on this slate with no salary cap, no pricing on players. I'm just going to play the best plays. It's easier said than done, but more times than not, people fall into the infatuation of just having not a lot of money left over and remaining rather than just playing the right plays. And I think that's one of the things I really want to highlight in this video is just play the right plays for this game. Don't try to fill out your lineup just to have zero salary cap remaining. That's not the way you're going to win this showdown slate. Trent Taylor is going to be uber chalk. I think he'll be more chalky on DraftKings than he will be on FanDuel. I think his FanDuel pricing is $5,000 here. A little bit of a price up, but their minimum pricing is way differently set up on FanDuel than it is on DraftKings. But before we head on out of here, let's take a quick look at some player props for tonight, and I'll talk to you about my favorite player props for tonight. I feel like this is a Jerick McKinnon game situation, game script type of game for him. I'm slamming the over 21.5 receiving yards and the over 2.5 receptions. The over 2.5 receptions is -190, and the receiving yards is -150. Really not good price tags, but like I said earlier, I'm waiting for the updates on Ross Dwelly's props to come out because I would pretty interested to see where he'll be lined up at. Because we already have Trent Taylor at 48.5. That's pretty high for a slot wide receiver. However, though, I'll be slighted to take his over 4.5 receptions at plus money. He's the only wide receiver that I feel like can be relied on for this 49ers roster. Kind of shying away from the Packer side of the ball when it comes to player props. I'm pretty interested in taking the under on Devontae Adams here, but I feel like you can't take an under on Devontae Adams prop because you'll just be burned more times than not. But if we're looking for just a touchdown scorer in this game. We have Devontae Adams juiced at -162. The sportsbook currently have Tyler Irving as the starting running back at +105. That would probably get juiced up if Aaron Jones is out, but I don't think we'll get that news until later on. But I feel like the best value for the Packers side of the ball for player props is Dexter Williams at +190. Like I said earlier, I feel like he's more of the bell cow type of back, and the Packers going to be in a good game script here. I wouldn't be shocked if that 7.5 jumps up to -9.5, 10 points closer to game time if certain injury news breaks out the way that I think it will. And then we look at the 49er side of the ball. We got Jermichael Hasty there at +130 to score. We got Jerick McKinnon there +150 to score. I'm kind of really don't want to play any of those props. If I had to pick a prop, I'd probably pick the Ross Dwelly to score prop at +350. Those are kind of like my overall thoughts on the player props for tonight. I'm slamming these Jerick McKinnon props, and I'm interested to see where these Ross Dwelly props come in at to play. But overall, though, I think that's the breakdown of the slate. This is one of the slates that you really, really have to pay attention to the injury news, because that's going to make all the difference in the way you're going to construct lineups. And usually DraftKings and Fanduel are kind of reflective on lineup construction. But on DraftKings today, man, like I said earlier in the video, there's so many cheap options for the 49ers down here. Dude, we have Trent Taylor at $400, and he should be by far and away the most relied on 49ers option out in the slot, especially with Jair Alexander locking up the outside receivers. Him at $400, like I said before, I think he'll be over 80% owned. There's no way he isn't. It's just a mispricing here since DK drops these prices. I want to say Sunday, and so much news has dropped since then. But a good, interesting pivot would be Richie James at $200. I know he'll be guarded by Jair Alexander, but both of these players are going to be on fire, paying probably 10xing their salary, probably even more than that. At this, they're under $1,000. It makes no sense to me. But as I digress once again, make sure you check out the videos tonight. We got Razor Sharp with the horse racing stuff, and then me, Nikki, and the boys. We're going to be going live with that Bellator card. I want to say Corey Anderson's the main event. It'll be pretty interesting because that will run up probably up until the Thursday night football game. So, as we usually do, we'll hit on both topics of discussion. And it was a good contender series night last night. Missed on the underdog play. I had the underdog in the main event, Oliveira. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Oldberg, the city kickboxing boys. I just wasn't really too impressed with him. But last night, I would say he had the second best knockout of the night, because Saldana definitely by far and away best knockout of the night, probably the best knockout of the year for Dana White Tuesday night contender series. And then we cashed on the 2-leg parlay of Ignacio and Bandera, the EFC champion, heavyweight champion. So it's nice that everybody got their contract signed last night. All 4 got signed, all 4 winners. So we'll be back at it again next week with that. And closer to the weekend, you know how it goes. We got Mills coming on here. He'll be dropping out his MMA videos. We got Guru coming on here. He just got signed over to Pub, so he'll be dropping more content with us. We got DFS by the numbers, a.k.a. Brady, the GOAT man himself. He even got the same last name as Brady. So you already know what that says. And then we got Mo Stream. Mo will be back this weekend, breaking down things as usual. But I'm about to head on out of here. If you're looking for a book, use mybookie.ag, promo code PubSportsRadio. And thank you for listening to this Thursday night football breakdown. A little bit longer than usual. These videos are usually like 10 minutes, though. But with this one, with the way the slate and news are breaking down, I had to get this video out because this is one of the type of slates where I'm going to hammer DraftKings and FanDuel tonight. And I hope you like the polo, man. Got the nice little polo here tonight. This is a PGA Tour polo. Got that repping out because, it's Masters week next week. Houston Open today. Started today, this morning. Hopefully a couple of my lineups cash over there. Yes, I play PGA Tour golf. So if you're ever looking for to hit me up or anything like that, make sure you follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills and check out the replay of the video. I'm out.